Do you ever feel like your relentless drive to achieve might be your own worst enemy? Um, I kind of wondered that for a long time. And this week I talked to Dr. Mary E. Anderson, and she's the author of an upcoming book called The Happy Achiever: Eight Essentials to Overcome Anxiety, Manage Stress, and Energize Yourself for Success Without Losing Your Edge. And I thought it was a very great conversation because a lot of us are high achievers. A great strength to have, but overutilized, underutilized, I think it's caused us a lot of grief and frustrations. And why? And this is what I got out of Mary, and I really enjoyed this conversation with her. So according to Dr. Mary, a high achiever is a talented and accomplished individual who excels, is driven, and consistently produces excellent results, but tends to tie their self-worth to their achievements, maintaining a flawless external image while experiencing significant internal pressure to perform. Significant internal pressure tends to tie self-worth to our achievements. Hands up, mine is up. Okay. And one thing that really hit me when she said, it goes, many high achievers do not identify themselves as high achievers because of their driven and ambitious goals, sorry, and their measurement is mainly on what hasn't been achieved yet versus what has been achieved. And I resonated that tremendously. Yes, I don't necessarily look back, talk about the gap in the gain. Yes, I've measured myself based on what hasn't been achieved. I've done a bunch of stuff. I realize that, but I still haven't achieved a lot more than I wanted. And that is self negating. That is self deprecating, not deprecating, but it's self. Um, the word's not coming to me. It's just, it's not working for me. Right. So, and having said that, I start to look back and yeah, I've achieved my goals, my financial goals. I've done everything I wanted to do, but yet there's always something more. And I think with the driven mind, there's always something better. So keep that in mind that we don't identify ourselves as high achievers until a lot of people mention to us because that's not what we measure against. We measure against what has not been achieved. And I think that's it's one of those hidden challenges that's there in our brain plays tricks on us. And the other thing she said that really hit me again, there's quite a few things she said. She said there's a difference between internal and external measures of success. So, an external measure of success yields perfectionism. Okay. That's because we are attached to the outcome. If we are attached to the outcome, then it has to be perfect. And that's where perfectionism comes in. But yet, if there's an internal measure of success, then we're looking for excellence. The 80-20 rule, 80% is fine. That's excellence. It's not perfection, it's excellence. And I think there was a very minor, subtle difference between that internal excellence and external perfectionism measure of success. And if you think about it, we are driven to achieve perfectionism because we're using someone else's measuring stick or someone else's perception. But if we just look at our own and strive for excellence, I think it will relieve a lot of stress. Since I've talked to her, just having that subtle difference has made a big difference in how I see things. So since we like to focus on yet to be achieved goals, self-defeating, I was looking at, those are my notes later on. We have to look back and measure back and not look forward to unachieved goals. That's the gap in the gain. And that helps us. It's not that we have to celebrate, have a big raha party, but to be in the moment, to reflect on what we have achieved is all we need to do and then go on to the next. But ignoring what we achieved because we're looking forward to what hasn't been achieved, that's where it becomes problematic. And like she said, perfectionism is the Achilles heel of the high achiever. Come on, think about it. Got to be perfect all the time. You got to do it right. There's a lot of different reasons to be perfect, but again, it's that external measurement of success, and being attached to the outcome versus the okay, income is money. I get that part, but being attached to the outcome is the perfectionism. So if we want to just be attached to the internal outcome, I guess is a better phrase. It's not perfect. I think you know what I'm trying to say here. And the challenge and the purpose and the striving for perfectionism to her, and I agree with her on this, that's where our burnout comes from, especially the ADHD, high achieving driven entrepreneur. When we're chasing perfectionism, that's the burnout, because we're getting attached to the outcome and we're not looking for excellence. We're just looking for perfectionism. And by striving for excellence, I think is a different way. We have to train ourselves to think about for excellence. That's good enough. Let's move on. And I'm just stuck on that. Excellence versus perfectionism. Excellence is internal. Perfectionism is external because we're attached to the outcome. Outcome is external. So let's keep that in mind. Okay, so in summary, I think the three main points for the conversation with her is one, let's start striving for excellence and let's get rid of this stupid, idiotic perfectionism thing, which is not only an ADHD thing. It's a high achiever challenge, but it's also a personal trauma challenge as well. Why, based on the crap that's worked against you in the past, you have to strive for perfectionism. So to be seen. So it's not just ADHD, it has to do with your mental health, your past, your past trauma, your childhood, your raising. Like there's so many aspects of perfectionism that can be. But if we just twist the conversation to ourselves to let's strive for excellence, I think it'd be great, which is the 80-20 rule. Okay. And that helps you manage expectations and it reduces stress. Okay. You have to be present and acknowledge your achievements that you've done. I've got a notebook in OneNote, all my happy moments. Okay. That's where I put all my accomplishments. I haven't done it lately. I got to update it, but every once in a while I go back to that and I see things. Okay. And that helps you stay in the game by seeing what you have achieved and what else we can do. Okay. And do it now. Appreciate yourself now, not later. But in the end, what you got to do is balance ambition. You celebrate your successes, like just acknowledging is all we really need, and strive for excellence. Okay. There's nothing wrong being a high achiever. A lot of people misunderstand the point of a high achiever, not the point, but the drive of a high achiever. I don't do it because I want to be rich and I want all this stuff. I just like to achieve. What's the next goal? Better is infinite. There's always something better I can do or something different. I set goals and I'm on to the next. I cannot just set a goal, achieve it, sit back and kick up my feet. I have to move forward. I have to keep achieving goals. That's a high achiever. But by reducing perfectionism in me will reduce my burnout. And I think that's very important for everyone to realize. Okay, so nothing wrong being a high achiever. We just got to manage it like everything else so it doesn't burn us out. Stick to it. Let me know what you think about this. Send me an email, André@theimpulsivethinker.com. Send a comment, rate the show, please. Thank you very much. This was a great conversation with Dr. Mary Anderson, sorry, and I can't wait till her book comes out and have a good read. Talk to you soon.